Good morning, YouTube. How you doing? Kevin here, coming at you with another video. This is the 2003 Bombardier made by Can-Am. It features the Rotex 4-valve engine, and the problem with this bike was where the chain goes, the sprocket got clear ripped off because the chain was over tightened. There's supposed to be a disc. I have to order the disc. The shaft is no longer available in America. I called and had everybody look, and they put it on the parts search. I couldn't find it on eBay, couldn't find it on Amazon, couldn't find it anywhere. I was able to locate one in Canada, so I got the shaft, and I want to show you guys this. This is the sprocket right here, okay, that drives the chain. This sprocket mounts right there, so like 3 inches of this thing is ripped clear off this bike. This is the hub right here for the brake. It's a rotor that goes on here and it rides on this caliper. So what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to take it apart today. I've never taken one of these apart, so this is new for me as well as you. So let's get crack-a-lacking and see what we can find, what we can do. Okay? I guess we're just going to tear right into it. So maybe I don't need to take this. I don't know what I have to take off here and what I don't, so I think I can just kind of wing this here. And now I've already used my camera and took pictures of how this goes. But even though I did that, I'm still going to kind of keep the things all in order because I literally don't know how they go. So I'm probably just going to end up taking this one apart today because it looks like it's going to pour out. Weather's been really freaky here lately. Really freaky. Freaky dicky. Okay, to help this out. What I'm removing right now is the brake caliper. Oh, there's something going on. I know we got construction on the bridge over the lamprey. Okay. Take this brake mechanism off, which is held on there with 3 bolts. Spring. I'll just move that right out of my way. I'll put the spring back in here because I don't need it falling away. Okay, then I'm going to take these bolts and screw them right back into the caliper. Alright, looks like we're going to have ourselves some fun doing this, because there is some serious metal in the way, especially when I don't know which ones hold what on, you know what I mean? It's kind of got a guard, part of this thing got ripped off, and alright, that goes to that. Okay, so that's not going to work. Boy, they got bolts and backup stuff that's craziness. Back in there like that. See if I can get these 2 bolts out. Looks like a couple of 13s in the back there, and let me go see if I can find one of those real quick. Yep, on. Ooh, don't know if it's going to get hot or muggy or what it's going to do out here. Man, what a bad place to put a bolt. Well, luckily it wasn't even tight. I'm gonna have to fix that. Sorry if I'm in your way. There's really not much room to do the camera and work on this thing. Been absolutely crazy trying to figure this thing out here. The swing arm is kind of right in the way. Okay, get that one off. See if I can get that last one off, which I don't know. It's kind of in a weird, awkward spot. Looks like they had to modify a bolt to fit that. That's kind of messed up. Alright, that's the bracket for that. See if I can move that over. I'm gonna put my finger on it, but where's the other wrench? Here we go. Double wrench it if I can. For extra added leverage. Got it. Bingo. They got some funky stuff going on this bike. Not gonna lie to you. Funky. Ideally, a ratchet wrench would be good for this, but you can't fit one back there. Because this aluminum plate that they got in there, it's all hacked up, which I don't think goes to this bike. Or went to something else. One or two. Not entirely sure. Nope, that was a brake pad. I'll do that. Clean that off. Might as well pop the other one out if I can. Yep. Well, brake pads are good. Surprised they're even on there. Having no rotor. Wow. They had to cut down this bolt to fit. I can only imagine what this thing's gonna look like on the inside. I'm getting kind of scared. Alright, let's see here. Right back. if this is the right one, I'll fit it, but I gotta get a pair of pliers or something to put on this. Man, they really got this thing messed up here. And we got a kind of a tapered one on the back there, where this is not even part of this equipment. It's not even supposed to be this. It's supposed to be an Allen head. Alright. Yeah. If I can cheat and sneak this around. Now, you might notice how I'm holding this at a steep angle. I'm going to show you. See how it's got the ball on it? That's a swivel. So when you're taking these bolts out, you can go around things with them. That one's tight. That one's really tight. But on average, like that, you can rotate it if you can't get straight onto it. I have a feeling this is going to be a nightmare. Honestly do. At least getting the cover off anyway is going to be a nightmare. They've had it off before, so we're going to see how good of a job they did. I got some bolts with washers, some without. Looks like I'm going to be doing some hardware shopping. Find out what actually goes to what and which way I have to take this thing. Now, as a preliminary, I only ordered what I needed on the outside. I didn't order anything from the inside, because I literally don't know what's needed on it. Some of these bolts have washers, some don't. Don't 100% know what goes to what, and in some cases even why. Looks like I might be missing something underneath there, so I literally don't know what's missing. There's a plastic plug thing underneath there. I don't know. We'll get to find out what that is, what that's all about. Yeah, that's siliconed up. Silicone. Get that whole thing right out of the way. Yeah, it's a chain guard they had on there. Alright, so now we got to the plate anyway. And it looks like we got one strip screw, possibly two. That's going to be tapped on. The rest of them are coming right out. It's weird, half these have washers on, half don't. That one came right out. And of course we have one stripped one up top there. That's really stripped out in there. Oh, there's the oil. Got some clean gear oil coming out the bottom. Still gotta figure out what to do about that strip screw there. That's probably going to break because there's so much silicone on it. This technique right here winds it in and out and helps clean the threads if you can get it to move. And then you can wind it right out. There's a trick for you. If you can get it to crack loose just a little bit, you can get the thing to move, and then it'll go back and forth with it. You know, tighten it, loosen it, tighten it, and loosen it. But understand that when you have a bolt that tight and it's that stripped out, we're gonna replace it because that's been definitely over tightened. All right, so now we got the cover off, loose. We're going to just verify because we don't want to pound on this thing and, what do you call it there, and break it off for you. It's got a lot of silicone on it. And, excuse me, we don't want it to, sometimes they come apart easy, sometimes I guess they don't. Okay. This one looks like it's going to be a nightmare to get past that part there. Oh snap, looks good in there. For the most part, looks good. I can't really complain about that. Basically, sit right there. I gotta figure out what's going on. Oh, it's just a plug. Must have had a speed sensor in there. If you had the model with the speedometer, that's where it would be. Okay, so we will then inspect. This is the drive gears right here onto a chain and a fork drive. And my shaft that is broken, which is right there. Look at that, guys, huh? Severed right off. Look at that. It's craziness. So we got that apart. Now we'll take apart the new shaft here. See if we can't key this all back together. I'll get to show you how bad this thing broke. Okay, that's the one right there we just took out of the bike, out of the four-wheeler. Now you can see how much broke off. I mean, come on, huh? That craziness? So, see if we can't finagle this back into place. No gears on that other end of that. Just the reduction. Okay. I always pop the gears out and inspect the teeth. Make sure there's no broken teeth or chips. These are common for these, especially like on the, what do you call it there? The Yamaha Breeze. They rip right off. This thing looks like it's in excellent condition. Excellent, darling. Excellent. Okay. So, boy, that wind is really forking up all of a sudden. Alright, so, can't get this to where it needs to be. Put back in. Just shift fork right here. Thrust washer down below. back there. Okay, like so. Gotta make sure you get your thrust washer in there. I'm probably gonna have to pull this whole thing apart. That's the washers right there, so you gotta make sure you put those back on. So we're gonna actually pull that shaft out and see if we can slide this in without that. So let's see if we can get this out of here. Drop this all down. Looks like we have to pull that shaft out to do that. Boy, this is kind of a pain in the neck, huh? Thing does not want to move. Because of the weight tension on it. Alright. So let's get this shifter like that. Okay. So that's how it looks right there. When you get that all apart in pieces. And you get your shift fork. Fits in there. It slides in on a pole. We're gonna take that out. That down like that. I'm dropping everything today. Jeez, I'm crow. Alright. Slip my shaft on like that. 2 washes. The big one goes on like that first. Then this one goes on here like that. Try not to be throwing everything around like I'm doing. Jeez, I'm breaking up housekeeping. Okay. Then I'm going to slide that into the... Make sure there's nothing else in there. We're good. Right, boom. Just like so. Okay, so now we're into the bearing, right like that. Whew. Okay. Then I gotta go get a rag because I dropped the shift fork on the ground. Okay, got that. Basically just putting this in back together in reverse order for what you took it out of. There is a chain and there is a washer on the back of this right here. Make sure you have your washer. These are thrust washers. These right here prevent the bearing from riding up against that sprocket. You want to definitely have those because those right there will protect your casing. That's going to fit in like that, and then your shaft moves over, slides back and forth to change your gear ratio, which we're going to have to weasel in the fork. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that in a second. Alright, so let's talk about the fork, shift fork. The shift fork, these are the, what do you call it? They call these dogs. Okay, they go into the groove, and when you shift, this little pin here follows a groove and slides it back and forth, and it has a detent, so it locks it in place where you go. That's what this part does. So we're going to take this top one back off, just to slide it out of the way like that, but you want to keep the chain hooked up. I know it's tricky. And then you have your shaft right here, and you want to make sure that's clean. And on this particular bike, it doesn't matter in which way it goes because they're both tapered on both ends. But typically when you take apart a shift fork, you want to make sure that, you know, which way the direction of the, what do you call it there, the taper is. So we're going to slide the shift fork in place first. Put keys in right there. Slide the shift fork in. Boom, we're in there. We're up in there. We got that all back together. Just like so, as if by magic. Check your gasket surface. Wipe out as much grease and oil if you need to, because we're going to have to fill this up after. I'm actually not going to fill it today because I have to get the proper lubricant for this. It looks like they had a gasket on here and they just put some silicone on it just to, they never hurt the gasket. That's impressive. Okay. So I'm going to grab some silicone and kind of follow suit with the a small light bead on it. Like I said, they've already had this thing apart before. Just want to make sure there's no dirt in there. That's via detent right there. It's kind of worn, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay, so I'm going to go grab some silicone and we'll throw that back together and check this out. I'm only going to put a few, I'm only going to do a few bolts, couple bolts in this, because it looks like I'm going to have to do a, this video in 2 parts. Only because some of these bolts have, what do you call it there, washers on them, some don't, and looking at the way this thing is put together, it looks like it needs bolts. It needs, what do you call it there, washers. Yeah. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put these on there in a different way. I'll put them in 3 places. So let me go grab some silicone. I thought I had some up there, but I don't. So I gotta figure out where I'm gonna get the. Looks like I'm gonna have to do that too. Alright, hold on. Alright, when I'm out at the hardware store, I'm going to have to pick that up for video number 2. Alright, so I guess what we're going to do for today is we're going to slap this cover back on. And this gasket doesn't look bad at all. So how can I put that silicone? Oh, wait a second. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Alright, looks like I have my silicone. Said I remember where I put it. I'm using, on this one here, the Permatex black adhesive. I love Permatex, it's a great company. I use their products a lot. And right now, let me show you what I'm doing. I'm just putting a layer of silicone on the gasket, just a thin layer. You don't need a whole lot. it already has a gasket on it. So I don't want to have a, what do you call it there? I don't want it to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Overbearing, you know what I mean? Just make sure you clean it. Make sure you get all the oil out of there. That's good. And now what we're going to do is we're going to slide this back on, but we're only going to use 3 bolts on it. And then I'm going to buy some washers, and then we'll do a second video on putting it back together. Hold on, buddy. I'm making a video. I'll be right in, okay? I'll take off the oil dipstick. Some place. Okay. Sometimes these things can be really finicky. I understand why they didn't want to do this, but for what it is, for a machine, nice. And that's pretty much it. Look how far the shaft sticks out now, huh? Thing of beauty right there. So we're gonna put the, yep, Andrew, give me a minute, buddy, okay? I'll put the 2 bottom ones in. Drop my ratchet underneath. Okay, I got that. Actually, in all, it wasn't a real bad, whatchamacallit there, bad deal. So, you know, taking it apart and all, you know. So. I'm going to move you off to the side so you can see a little better what I'm doing here. I'm just tightening it up right now. Those 2 are tight. Looks like I'm going to need 4 washers, and I'll get those later on today. While I got that all stuff torn apart, I'll tighten up that clamp. Okay. And I'll put this top one in here in. Actually, if I put this in here, as opposed to up top, I can put it together and sneak the other ones past. I'll do that. Just keep going. Okay. Nice. Alright, so what I did was I took the 3 that have the washers on, put them down bottom so I can start putting some of the stuff back together again. I'm just going to put it back to the way they had it, because, I mean, obviously it worked at one point. Andrew, I'm making a video. I will be in a minute. Now go play, please. No, you're not coming out here. It's gonna rain. Okay, so the sprocket goes on next. Now there's a step right here. This step goes towards the bike. Like that. Then the hub. Hub also has the flange right here for the rotor. Fits on like that. Then you got your big square nut. It's a M20 nut. They don't make this nut no more either, and it's got a recess on the back of it. So this came with the hub when I ordered the hub. I'm not going to tighten it. There's supposed to be a little flap tab that bends over to hold it, but that is also no longer available. Neutral, reverse, and forward. That's awesome. Okay. Now I'm going to take a socket or a wrench or something and tighten that top one there. See if I can get that tight. I'll do that last. Trying to figure out this erector set now, which is what I'm working on right now. So this right here is the bolt that right there is really wound in there tight. If I can get that apart. She should probably just tighten it down. And walk it. Yeah, I'm going to do it that way. Because with the brake pads out, I can put the bolt through it. So I think that's how they do it on this particular machine. That would make sense. They must have taken one hell of a hard hit, I'll tell you that. A lot of stuff was broken when they did that. That thing, they were probably driving with it. The chain broke and just the whole thing came apart. That's what my guess would be. It looks like they just used whatever they could find for hardware to remount it, because I know that torque bit bolt is not the right one for this, because it's not recessed or nothing. So it's a chain guard right there they made, but that's okay. They did what they could to get it working. He said he broke it one time. They were flying with this machine. He said he was flying with it and doing things he shouldn't have been doing, and all of a sudden it broke on him the first time. Stripped out that gear. Okay. So now, put that in here. Tighten that down. Can't really get a grip on that. Okay, caliper's back on and tight, and then we got this. So we got to mount. This is the brake caliper right here, and when you step on the pedal, it pushes up a wedge in here, and then moves the pads up against that rotor. See how it works? It's like a clamp style. It's a manual. It's a manual disc brake, I guess you'd call it. So, and now we're going to put this back on. Putting that back on down the bottom there. That's where this tip right here comes in, because it's tucked. Yep, that's a chain guard on that right there, which we might have to loosen up to put the chain on after. when I do that, but not hard. It's not hard at all. Okay, yeah, that's gonna go like that. And boom. I'm not keeping this on here. I'm going to put the proper bolt back onto it, but for right now I'm going to throw it back in there so I can align it so I can tighten it up. You know what? I know for a fact that that chain guard that they made is not the one for this bike. So I'm going to take that off actually. Because there's no, it's not fitting properly and it's not needed, and you can plainly tell they made that. Just double check that. Double check it. They got the proper gear on there, and this whole thing is just hammered. Yeah, it's right up. I'd have, yeah, that's not right. That don't fit right at all on there. Yeah. Yeah, even the spacer doesn't fit properly on the bolt. So it looks like we're going to hold off on putting this caliper back on until we go get the right hardware for this, which I'm guessing aren't even the right bolts, because that thing should be sitting. Yeah. This metal plate right here is your chain guard and caliper mount. So that is the issue with it. Okay, so it looks like I need to get hardware for this thing. So I need to get some bolts, or not bolts, say, yeah, I need to get 3 bolts. Four washers and 3 bolts. Yeah. Okay. So I guess this is video number whatever on the disassembly of the what do you call it there, changing out that shaft. So when people get into things before you do, they tend to create a lot of extra problems, added issues. So now we have the sprocket installed, the gearing's all back in, we got to fill it up with fuel fluid, and I got to figure out how to do that. So I think I can go through it. I think there should be a plug on this somewhere, probably gonna be on the back side, I would wonder. I don't know. I didn't see a plug to put it in, put the fluid in, but I will find out how to do that. And the irony of this whole thing, they got the chain tension thing right there. So I don't see no plugs. They must be on the side of the case someplace. I don't know, but we're gonna find out. Probably just fill it up through one of those holes until it comes out the second hole, I would think. I don't know, we're gonna look it up. See, I have the manual for it, so the manual will tell me how to do it, which is nice if you can get the manuals for them. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share that information on reassembly when I do that, and what oil is required. That's really cool. Now we can put the chain on it and have a chain. So I got to get a new guard. But these chains are cool. They got rubber infused in between them, so these things can actually flex, which is pretty neat, I think. So anyway, guys, this is the teardown of the, what do you call it, the Bombardier 200, and the shaft replacement. Look at that. Broken clear off. Unbelievable. That just took a beating, that shaft. That's all that thing did. Just took an absolute hard beating. So make sure you get your thrust washers on there. This had enough oil in it to hold the thrust washers on. But if you find yourself you can't hold the thrust washers on, use a dab of grease or that Permatex assembly lube. That also works. Everything in this thing was nice and clean, so I really didn't have, the bearings all felt good in the case. So it looks like it's just a matter of, I mean, you can see where they broke the case right here. They fixed it. They had to put that boss back onto it. But we're going to figure out how to fill this thing up with gear oil and what type of gear oil it takes. Fill her up, and it looks like we're going to have ourselves a runner, guys. A runner. So he also said that the engine overheated a couple times. Not bad, just overheated a little bit. That right there is why. So we're going to clean the radiator. This is just stupidity right here, guys. Stupidity. So we're going to clean it, do it up, check the antifreeze level. I got to tear apart all this to do that, and that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much it. So looks like we have a vent up top here, a vent hose. We got to tighten up the shaft, 10mm, because right there is just going to strip out. It's too loose. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please subscribe. Please, note them, and definitely please subscribe. This is a pretty cool thing. I've never had a Bombardier before. Finding the parts for it were a nightmare. And honestly, to be honest with you, I think because this is a 2003 and the parts are already discontinued and obsolete, I think this is going to be the last Can-Am I own, to be honest with you, because it's not a bad little buggy, but honestly, if you can't get parts for them, and it's 2000, it's a 2003. Where's the fun in that? You know what I mean? Oh, looks like we have a drain plug down bottom. Right there, looks like a drain. The drain. It could be the engine oil, but the engine oil's over this way more. I already drained the engine oil. I already changed the oil on that. That drain shows you right here. So, guess what? I found the drain. Of course, I drained it out the other way. And what I'm interested in is, well, where's the fill? So it looks like I can get to that bolt back here too if I put a ratchet and socket on it to get to that shifter. I wonder if I put it up if I can get to it from this side. Wow, this wind is wicked. I really can't complain that bad though. We didn't get half of what they got down in Florida and all that. But man, yeah, I can get to it. It's in pretty damn good shape. I really can't complain about it, except for the fact that they really didn't care about it and treat it like hell. But tires are in excellent condition. All the lights work. Everything works on it. It just needs. They broke that. Fix that. It's a good buggy. Should be able to get a nice little chunk of change for it when it's all done. So give it a bath, clean it up, take the decals off, the New Hampshire stuff, and make a home for it. A home. Also, too, guys, I checked my stuff today. I got 70 subscribers. Welcome. Thank you for watching. Thank you for viewing my videos. I really, really appreciate that. And if there's anything I can do for you guys, by all means, please send it my way. Questions, comments, all that type of stuff. So we're gathering a nice little family here, and I love it. So, and I work on all kinds of things for those of you who don't know, who are new. And look, there's another chain guide right there. Tension right there, wheel. So there's a lot of tension around this. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. Thank you guys for subscribing. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate your comments, your compliments, all that type of stuff. So going forward, we're just gonna keep plugging away at different projects, and trust me, I've got projects. I got the Chevy here. This right here is what I've been working on recently. It's got a 305 in it with a bad transmission. It has no reverse. So I got the engine idle down, plugged up some vacuum lines, threw an alternator belt on, checked the battery. It's got charging. But we're going to do some cool stuff with this. I just picked this truck up, so I got that. My little Ranger's coming apart, donated. I'll show you guys my buddy's tire. 4 inches removed. He never even seen it coming, so didn't even notice it. Nice tire though. And the so I gave him the tires off. Well, we didn't give him. We doing some swapping for the tires on my Ranger. So he has a nice safe vehicle, and he gave me something else. I'll show you guys my. We're gonna make this into a camper this summer. It's gonna be a pretty damn badass camper. But I got some rims I'm gonna, clean up and throw on it. Like these ones right here, factory rims. So he gave me the hubcaps. I got the hubcaps now that can go on it, and the lugs. So it'll look a little better. So it's all about making it into a redneck camper, right? If you're a redneck, you're all in, right? So yeah, no, I appreciate this, guys. Thank you for watching. We have a lot of projects coming up, a lot of different things. I'm going to be doing the clutch video today, later on. Now that I did this one right here, I got to throw this on the charger, upload it, and then I'm going to start on the other one later on tonight and get you guys that clutch video for the KE100, which is actually my KE102 build. So, cool. Well, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe.